Guys, I forgot to mention this. One thing I found out about my recording is whenever I finished recording the rest of the Bakugo and Deku being brothers thing, this is what popped up. And I said I was recording Doomslayer. That was a great sign that immediately afterwards, me recording it was going to start out great. So, yeah. I forgot to slip this in the last episode. Anyways, enjoy the video. Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kirusho here. Now, sorry for not uploading a video. I've kind of been getting sucked into this game. I've actually owned the game Prey, and someone recommended me to do a what if on it. I kind of got a bit too sucked into it. I meant to record probably 20 minutes ago, but the game's addictive. I am just running around trying to find as many neuromods as I can so I can get my abilities. I also made a mistake of getting rid of that stuff that basically gives you PSI very early into the game instead of just holding onto it. So, I'm a bit screwed on that. I also just died to a phantom. So I started recording. Anyways, let us begin. Now, I believe Deku and Ibarra were about to enter heresy. Now, Deku would actually think about what's going on here. They would actually see that this entire place feels hotter than even hell itself. As you just see demons that are just standing on giant walls, guarding what appears to be a ginormous fire. You hear the screaming, but the demons that see them, they do not attack. This confuses Deku. As they keep passing by, Deku is still trying to figure this out, asking Ibarra what exactly that was. She would quite simply just say she's not really sure. But it may have been the demons guarding the wall. What do you mean? Well, I believe back in church they stated that heresy. All the heretics will be thrown in a pit, guarded by demons. But I just don't understand why there are walls that high if they're in a pit. Well, I think it's probably for the demons. Anyways, let's get going. As they would go through the pit, or not through the pit, but they would go through the entire circle, and they would end up in violence. Now, as soon as they do this, this is kind of confusing to Deku. Because he just feels his skin crawling here. He's asking her what should they do. This is insane. There's people drowning in a lake of boiling blood. Of course things are going to be insane, but how do we get through? I'm not exactly sure. But I think I have a theory. How thick is your skin? I want to say very good. Define very good. What's very good for you? I can't smash you out of Mantina. I want to say that's about it. Well, there's that out of the question. As these two would actually continue walking by, they immediately would get through it, and they will end up in the 8th circle, which is fraud. Souls are thrown into a bit of darkness, endlessly beaten and tortured by demons. Now, as soon as they walk through, Deku is actually holding Ibarra's hand, and he is confused. He's telling her that they just need to stick close, because if they can at least get through here, they should be fine. But that is the problem. Deku immediately pulls Ibarra close, and he sees a sinister grin. He's asking her if she's okay, and all the Ibarra would say is, "Slayer, you really are coy, aren't you? You took one step in without your beloved. So, you do not know how everything works like I thought. What do you mean? Wait, you're not Ibarra. Well, of course, Slayer, I am not Ibarra. In fact, this isn't even real. And this might even surprise you more, but you haven't even made it to the second circle. You are still in Limbo. In fact, I do believe your beloved is there too. It's quite joyful, in fact. She is a very good entertainer. The trauma, the fear, and the regret and self-loathing are amazing to see. For a child, or for a Christ child, I thought she would be better. But I guess that's what this circle has told me. None of you humans are better than each other or better than themselves. As Deku pushes this Ibarra away, he's saying, then what is, where, how? Well, Slayer, that is the question. Now, can you find your beloved before I do? As this Ibarra would immediately just turn to dust. Deku opens his eyes, and he finds that he's still in Limbo. What the hell is going on? As he begins walking around. He's realizing that what this entire year has been nothing but just him standing in limbo, if not running around in goddamn circles here. Now then, Deku, he is walking around quite a bit. Now, he has been walking around for about a month straight, if not running. He has not been able to find Ibarra at all. In fact, he's very concerned at where she could even be. As Deku's thinking about this even more, this is whenever he just begins screaming. He goes to the highest point he can and just starts screaming as loud as he can. As he just starts screaming in ear-piercing words, "Where are you?" Now, he keeps screaming this as loud as he can until he's pretty sure all of hell can hear him. At this point, an angel would actually fall, and they would actually see Deku, appearing in front of him as someone he finds familiar. His mother. Deku's confused. Who are you? Well, that is not important right now. Listen. He wanted me to deliver this message to you. He? Yes. Listen. The only way out of Limbo is to accept who you are. And you can't even do that. You've been in here for the last... how many times? How long do you humans call it? Well, all I know is on Earth it's been 3 days. Wait, 3 days? No. Yes. Okay. Anyways. You need to accept who you are. If you can do that, then you can get out of here. Now, one thing that I do know is Ibarra isn't here. She is actually stuck in heresy. What do you mean she's stuck in heresy? Well, how should I put this? The devil's trying to get her to him before you can get to him. He wants those two souls. Ibarra's is tainted with violence. So is the doctor. If he can get them, he might be able to escape. Wait. Are you telling me I've been Lucifer's little plaything for the last 3 years, and he just expects me to walk away as he takes my girl. Yes, that is exactly what he expects. But I will give you one thing. At your request, what do you want? I'm guessing Ibarra is out of the question. No, I shouldn't even be here. I can't not go that far. Well, can you give me a holy item? I cannot do that either. So who can? That would be the Lord. So you're telling me he's trying to get me to stop this, but he won't help me. Yes, human, that is... No, wait, that's not a... Okay, well, listen to me. Tell him I'm gonna beat the devil to a pulp, but he owes me a favor. As Deku immediately walks past him with a very determined look on his face, as his anger boils, and Deku just disappears. The angel would then say these words. God bless that man. He is the only thing standing between his own world and oblivion, and yet he still keeps calm. I'm just glad he didn't tear my head off. Now then, lust. Circle of lust is very hard. No pun intended. Anyways, this is basically... Lust is a very loose concept. It applies to anything. A lust for power, a lust for knowledge, a lust for a person, or a lust for a place. Meaning you desire to be at that place at any given point. Home, with somebody, or at a place with somebody. Now, Deku, he's actually walking through. He sees what kinda is weird to him. It's an entire scene. It's hard to describe. It seems like an American home. What is this? Deku, he actually walks in, and he finds that this is a life that he could build with Ibarra. It's everything that the devil is trying to give him, but trying to keep him trapped here. It's a family, it's a home, it's him without his quirk. But Deku just says no. As he says this, he just shouts that he is perfectly fine with his own power and he doesn't care. In fact, the only reason he's here is to mount his head on his wall. So you better try harder. As all these figures in Deku's vision immediately have their face twist from a happy smile to a sinister grin, as they all disappear and Deku is now in gluttony. Deku is very confused. Gluttony? I don't indulge in anything. Oh, but you do, Slayer. As Deku immediately starts feeling chills up his spine as the rain washes over his face. Now, Slayer, one thing you do not realize, gluttony means you do whatever you want. When you approached your 20-year, I believe you humans call it, in hell, you began getting as strong as you could, mowing down those demons like they were nothing. Over time, you became used to the feeling, so you never stopped. You indulge and sometimes you even enjoy. No, I don't. Yes, you do. You just don't want to admit it, because you hate yourself. If you admit that you love murdering and love using that little quirk of yours, you admit that you might be the villain in your own story. You'll be the person who takes yourself down because you can't even accept it. Now, Deku, he just does one thing. He turns off his quirk. Now, he calms down and he just says he does not enjoy killing. The only reason he did so was to survive and protect people in those towns. Now, you don't understand what it's like, do you? You hide away in that little palace of yours, protected by your little guards. Or do you not even have guards? I wonder, is that little story of you being in that block of ice true? If that's the case, it makes this too easy. That's why you're trying so hard. As Lucifer immediately gets angry and Deku, he immediately just disappears, appearing in the Lake of Gold as he begins falling. He's actually really confused as he turns his quirk back on, and he immediately just creates the wings, but they're actually smaller now, which confused him a bit more. As he goes rolling and tumbling, he actually lands right outside the pit. He is now a bit more concerned. Okay, why are my wings so small? I don't need this right now. As Deku says these words, his wings immediately go back to full size. Wait, you can't be serious. That's why I always feel weaker when I'm calm. As Deku now realizes his quirk works off of emotions, if not very intense ones. Anytime he's had to use his wings, he has been under intense stress and or rage. Now then, Deku, he would go through the process where he's walking through once again, and he is actually met with the same demon. The demon, or the figure, I believe I called it, asked Deku why is he not in the pit. Deku would say that he does not belong here. Now, he will be going by. But the figure immediately reveals that he will not, as it immediately tries swinging and slashing a sword at Deku. Deku immediately jumps backwards, trying to grab it by its blade, but it cuts into his hand. Deku finds that that is a very sharp-ass sword. Now, he actually just thinks, okay, this is new, as he immediately pulls out his gun and he just fires it off. As he's actually pierced through the demon, it falls onto the ground. Now, Deku actually walks over to it, and it actually starts asking the Slayer why is he not in the pit? Why is he here? Deku immediately walks over, picks up its sword, and he actually hands it back to this man, saying that he is not full of greed, he is not full of gluttony, he is not full of lust, he is just angry. He is looking for somebody who he knows is stuck here. So, he is pissed off. He wants to get back home. In fact, he wants to take the devil's head and mount it on his wall. Just because the guy pisses him off so much. And he made me butcher down as many humans as he could possibly fit on Earth. As Deku immediately just tells him this, the man lets him pass. Deku goes through anger, and as soon as he walks onto the water, he actually finds that he has fallen into it. He is confused by this as he just starts swimming deeper. Deku swims as deeply as he can, and he finds that, okay, this is... what? He would eventually find that he has come straight up out of the water into the fire, essentially burrowing deeper and deeper into his hatred till he finds the source. An ever-burning flame. This confuses Deku, as he immediately gets confronted with the demons that were guarding the humans in the pits. Deku immediately leaps up into the air, actually forming his wings. As soon as he does this, he actually goes to kick one of the demons. As soon as he kicks them, they immediately go flying. But Deku looks down and he has a knife in his leg. As he immediately brings his leg up, he pulls it out and he's thinking, so, the deeper I go, the more likely I can just go for a straight shot. Alrighty, well, how do I get out of here? Heresy. I believe she's stuck here. Where are you, Ibarra? As Deku immediately begins flying around. Now, he's actually flying as fast as he can, and this is whenever he would eventually find her. I want to say after about 3 hours on Earth, Deku would find her. She's just standing there, and she's somewhat walking, taking a step every few seconds. Now, Deku, he immediately walks over to her, and he tries shaking her out of it, asking her why is she even in here? Why is she stuck in heresy? As she immediately gets shaken out of it, her eyes come back to being normal, and she tells Deku that she doesn't know what's going on, she's confused, and they're both scared. As basically, this is both of their respective circles. Deku asks what she means, and Ibarra would just say that she has committed heresy by giving away that cross. In fact, not bearing it, no longer wishing to bear it, because she rejected it from Deku back at the camp. Now, it's also the Doctor's respective circle, because she took her life and she disowned. If not, she took the final thoughts in her head were that she denounces her faith. Now, while Deku's thinking that just because you no longer... Okay, listen to me. That's not how heresy works. The Doctor, that's a bit more that's heresy. But that's not you, Ibarra. Just because you gave up the cross for a while doesn't mean you're a heretic. Listen, I was stuck in the first circle while you got here. I was stuck because I didn't accept myself, but I did. Now, why are you here? Just because you give up that cross doesn't mean you're a heretic. Just because you think that way or you were taught that way doesn't make you a bad person. Okay. I believe her name was Joan of Arc. You need to just think about what she did. She did everything in God's name, and she was still burned at the cross. But she was not considered a heretic. Now, think about it like that. Just because you don't believe or your faith is wavering and you give up, that doesn't make you a heretic. That makes you human. Can you accept that? As Ibarra is thinking about this, she immediately lashes onto Deku and she begins crying. As they both essentially drop to their feet, they drop to their knees. Why did I say feet? They both drop to their knees and she is crying. As the Doctor actually just apologizes for essentially denouncing her own faith, as they journey into violence. Deku wipes away Ibarra's tears, and he actually holds her tightly, as he tells her that they can work on that later, but he essentially needs to do something. This worked in anger, so it should work here. Now, how long can you hold your breath for? How long? I want to say about a minute. Well, good. Now, hold on tight. As she wraps her arms around Deku, she immediately watches as Deku gets a running start and he starts running for the entire lake of boiling blood. As he falls in, he finds that it's really hot and it's actually burning his skin a little bit. As Ibarra actually somewhat tries to cocoon herself, she finds that just makes the heat more intense. As Deku is going down as far as he can, he actually would open his eyes and reappear in Fraud. As he immediately reaches for Ibarra's hands around his neck, he actually asks if that's really her. She would say yes, and Deku would turn around, seeing as her eye glows, and the doctor would also say yes. Okay, we're all here. Now then. That's good. Okay. So, this is Fraud. I thought I was here last time, but the devil tricked me. Now, we essentially can't be frauds with one another. What is the deepest, darkest secret you don't want anyone else to know about you? As she would spill her secret after hesitating that she doesn't like what her parents do. In fact, whenever she first met him at court counseling all those years ago, her parents, they didn't go a bit overboard with the prayer ceremonies. They actually tried sacrificing her to the Lord. And that this whole time, every time she talks about them, that was because they were essentially put under a person's quirk, basically hypnotizing them and changing their mindset, wiping away their memories of that whole incident and everything they had to do with it. After basically revealing that whole scenario, this actually surprises Deku, as he actually reveals that his whole time in hell, if not his whole life, he's always wanted to use his quirk. He was never ashamed about it or essentially resentful about it. He's always wanted to use it, but he's just been so angry. In fact, that's how his quirk works all the time. He thought it was a transformation quirk, but it's not. It's an emitter. I can turn it off and on again by just staying calm or getting angry. So this whole time I've always just wanted to use my quirk, and it frightens me. Because the power I now hold it's almost unrivaled on Earth. I fear that if I ever do become a villain, I might actually rip everything apart. Destroy the very foundation of the home I swore I would protect whenever I first came here. As these two talk about this and accept each other, they find that they are now in the circle of treachery. Now, I'm going to be leaving this part off here, guys. I know this is kind of a bit of a dick move, but I believe I should be able to wrap up the series in 3 or 4 more episodes. But I did not plan on making it easy for Deku. Now, I do hope you enjoyed the video and have an amazing day. I will catch you guys later.